All right. So let's get started. Fuck it. Let's skip the foreplay because I spent like 10 minutes trying to find a VMU. So, number one suspect in the chat is Potter. Since Potter hates Magneto, but he's actually not bad against fighting Magneto. He will body Magnetos that aren't on point, right? So, Potter, help me out here, right? What is it that differentiates a bad Magneto from a good Magneto? Just keep it short and sweet for me, if you can. Not missing dashes. That is a good one, Ruin. That is a very good one. Did Potter dip? Elite execution and mix-ups. Okay, can you elaborate more on the elite execution? What does that mean? Is that just a combo thing? So remember back in the day, we used to call Magnetos that never dropped anything training room Magnetos. They could do all the combos, but they can never hit anyone, right? Remember that saying? Nah, this is just about Magneto meta. Okay, so let's take that point and let's run with it, right? So Potter says elite execution and mix-ups. We'll get to mix-ups later. Mix-ups is a huge part of Magneto's game. It's what he's built around. Just so thinking you're good to go, Magneto. That's not too far from the truth, to be honest. But that will only get you so far. Okay. I think it means to have good movement, understanding spacing, no significant drops. I can agree with that. So, you said the one thing that I wanted to hear, which was good movement. Movement, spacing, no drops, right? So, good movement is essential for Magneto. If you're sitting there and you're not weaving through assists, if you have outliers like Wickful, who has drops, but he has crazy amount of experience. Yeah. So his experience definitely makes up for his drops, right? But let's talk about movement real quick. So, in my opinion, one of the most important things in this game is movement. Just the ability to avoid assists, the ability to get in when you're supposed to get in, the ability to not get stuck in proximity. Shout out to Yipes again. Yes, Bill. Movement is what will propel you to the next level. Ruin, I'm about to ban you. Ruin. So yeah, we wanna play a Magneto that is more. And all right, so let me just preface the stream. These are my opinions on Magneto. You don't have to play him this way. This is just how I would go about playing Magneto. Now, again, I'm not the best MSP. I'm probably not even top 5 MSP. But this is my opinion on Magneto. Okay? Let's get that out the way. So, in my opinion, thank you, Potter. So in my opinion, you want to play this guy very surgically. you want to play him like a surgeon's knife, right? You want to pick your spots, especially versus this guy, Sentinel. And when you hit them, you want to make it count. Now, what do I mean by making it count? I mean, so the number one thing Magneto is known for in this game is undermining teams. What up, Mike? Right? Magneto is the underminer of all teams. He does not have to fight the matchup presented to him right here. See this shit? He doesn't have to deal with this. He can land a hit and deal with this instead. He can deal with that. So, the number one goal with Magneto is to undermine. You want to change the matchup, or if you're in a position to kill Sentinel, oh, dropped it. Talk about drops. You want to kill Sentinel in the corner with Hypergraph Tempest loops. Alright, so I know I'm getting a little bit far ahead. There's a lot to talk about, and I don't know how to structure this properly. Right? I didn't really have a plan. I'm just winging it. So top 5 MSPs, Yayus, Pasadena, Crizzle, gconceptz. That's a pretty good list. That's a pretty good list, Potter. So want to play him surgically, and we want to take advantage of his movement and his godlike buttons. There's one thing that a lot of Magneto players maybe they just overlook it, but Magneto has crazy range on his buttons. Now this is where the Marvel 2 training mode is gonna limit me, because I can't fucking set up scenarios, right? But Magneto doing this right here can deck Sentinels short if they stick it out. Same with his roundhouse. And this button right here, look at the range on this. It's kind of OD. For short, it's OD as an air move. And one frame crouch short. Fastest button in the game. As fast as you can get. So, one thing new Magneto players don't do as well, in this matchup in particular, the Sentinel matchup, they don't do that. See that? Look. I can be right here. So that means if a Sentinel is flying above here, right? I'm right here. He does crouching spit into fly. I can anticipate that and deck him with a neutral, with a neutral light kick, right? Now, what happens when you deck him with the neutral light kick? Of course, I didn't combo there. Free infinite. Into this situation, or into Hypergraph Tempest, right? So his neutral light kick is really fucking good. Use that some more. Now in the Sentinel. So all right, let's talk about Magneto versus Sentinel, since this might be the most common match in the game, maybe. Stand jab is your friend. Pins down Sentinel's big ass, right? Stand jab with Typhoon behind it, really good. And we also have the IFC Yipes / Chris Schmidt string. Whoever invented it first, I don't know, but these were the first two guys to be doing this. So this is the string. Let me put the dummy on all guard. Okay. I haven't been cutting them up, Bill. I just been posting them. So, what is that string good for? I spoke about this in the SB3 breakdown with Chris Schmidt and Yipes, right? So after you do something like short side blade, you can do that. So the string is super jump roundhouse, air dash down, neutral light kick. Not down forward light kick, neutral. Right? Neutral light kick, medium punch, medium kick. What does that string do? If they jump, let's look. Guard breaks. If they just jump back, right? See the guard break. If they crouch. Cross up. Right? And if they stay on the floor, Sentinel in particular, and stand blocks, he gets strung up. Really good, because now it's his turn again. Now it's his turn again. Right? So that string is really fucking powerful. It's very hard to deal with if you don't have an anti-air. So let's talk about the approach that Magneto has to take. Now this is gonna be my opinion on how he should approach anybody, not just Sentinel, right? If you're doing things like dash up, short side blade, that's not a great approach. Why isn't that too great? Because you're kind of leaving yourself vulnerable if they block it, right? If you just dash in from like this distance and do crouch side blade, short side blade, I'm sorry. Yeah, Bill, it's still there, right? So I'll tell you why it's there, in my opinion, why I think it's there in a second, Bill. So you do short side blade, storm calls cap, you lose damage, right? It's not great. Which how you want to approach is something like that, where you lock them in and then go for a mix-up. So it's all about being in proximity to your opponent, right? So you can even do this with side blade, right? So like I said, movement is key. You get in, approach safely. Now, if you don't want to just call assists first and use them as a shield, you can do things like this, right? You don't have to commit to short every time you get close. This is why low-level Magnetos get blown the fuck up by anti-air, because they get in and they want to press the offense right away. If you look at high-level Marvel, this is just the first layer. Yep. This is just the first layer, right? This is, all right, well, I'm in your face now. The fuck you gonna do? Now, after that, you can preemptively call your assist. That will counter call them mashing assist, right? It will also counter them from like holding up or holding up back, something like that. And sometimes even if side blade won't hit them going up back, you can still stand jab them. So the approach has to be layered. The approach just can't be go ham all the time, because if you go ham all the time with Magneto, you're gonna get blown up. Now, Bill, I just want to tell you, short side blade. Why I see this a lot too, in my opinion, is there are not a lot of players that are playing Cyclops. There are not a lot of players playing Cyclops. So, what's my repercussion for being wrong here versus Thrax? I eat a Captain Corridor. Whatever. Who gives a fuck, right? Not a big deal. But my repercussion for being wrong here against Storm Sense Psych is death. I get launched into a full combo. Into DHC, right? So, I think, honestly, the fact that no one's really playing Matrix like that is bringing back that go ham mentality, bro. Now, this is why a lot of people get blown up by MSP as well, right? Because they want to go for the raw opener on MSP. You cannot do that. You can't go raw opener on MSP. You have to bait them. Sideblade is always going to come out. Anti-air is always going to come out. So you have to bait them, bait their assist out, and then mount your offense. That's the number one flow of offense in this game, in my opinion, is you get into proximity, you force their anti-air assist out, and then you can safely apply pressure, right? So the difference between high-level Magnetos and mid-level Magnetos and low-level Magnetos is that higher-level Magnetos are thinking about this layer. They're not going to get decked with assists like that. They're not going to be sloppy. Sloppiness is the number one thing that differentiates high-level from mid-level, right? Mid-level, low-level, the game is really, really sloppy. Because Manny actually made a very good point the other day when we were talking. Shout out to Manny Fresh. He's only been playing for 4 months, but he sees this, right? The reason is because we have anti-air assist, right? Anti-air assist makes the game very sloppy. People are trying to weave around it. They fuck up. They get hit by assist. They get shot up in the air. The game becomes really sloppy because we could just fucking mash assist and mash assist constantly, right? There's no fucking cooldown on Sideblade. There's no cooldown on Cap. There's no cooldown on Cyclops. You can just do that. But high-level Magnetos, they will account for the assist call, right? They will get in and treat it like a surgeon's leg. Make sense so far? Yep. So Santhrax, how do you catch Storm? All right, we'll get to that. We shall get to that. We'll discuss that. So yeah, Potter, that's what I've been thinking lately. The fact that there's so much Cap being played right now, the MSP offense is getting sloppier because there's no real repercussion for being wrong on a short side blade. Whatever, I eat a Captain Corridor, it's not a big deal. I'm not gonna get launched and die for it, right? It's not a big deal. I will say this though, Storm Sent Cable, believe it or not, if you are wrong on the short side blade and you eat a cable assist, you will die. You can die from that. It's a little harder of a confirm for Storm, but you should die for that. So, shout out to Justin Wong, right? Because back in the day, everyone was trying to beat Justin. Now, obviously, Justin ran. Yep, they do. Justin ran Cyclops. So, Magneto players, if you wanted to beat Justin, you couldn't do this. You couldn't do that because you eat Cyclops, you're gonna die. So Justin single-handedly, well, not single-handedly, but he was a big reason why Magneto stopped doing that. it just wasn't effective. What up, Crizzle? So you have to run layered offense. Now, let's talk about how to catch Storm, right? What up, fat body? Let's talk about how to catch Storm. Couple things in this matchup. Storm, she owns the skies. Rule number 1, Storm owns the skies. You do not want to challenge her while she's super jumping. Right? You cannot challenge her. You have to catch her when she's falling. MSP succeeds, or Magneto in general, succeeds on the floor. This right here, this space, this is home. We don't take to this too often. If we take to that too often, we're fucking up. We want to play here. This is where you play Magneto. So, when Storm is super jumping up and building bar and fishing with light kick for short lightning attack super, you cannot chase her or challenge her there. As a general rule, you're gonna get counter hit into DHC, right? So what do? You catch her when she's falling. You have to try and set up a nice typhoon or a side blade call. So when she's coming down from the air, right, you call typhoon so she lands into the typhoon, or you stay under her, stand block, right? Not crouch block, stand block so she's coming from the air, or you can even jump and call side blade. Right? Now this is gonna put her in block stun. After she comes out of block stun, you go for a dome, you go for a legs, you go for a mix. Now, it's easier said than done. That's not very easy to do. It is practical, but it's not easy because she also has a float that can change her trajectory on the way down, right? Damn, did I use that the right way? Whatever, we're gonna rock with it. Now, one thing Magneto has that stops people from playing in the air a lot is the stand jab, right? So if you get a read on your opponent, you get a read on your opponent. Lena Troll, thank you for following. If you get a read on your opponent and you see that their tendency is to hold up back or press up, you can dash in and check him with a jab. What happens when you check him with a jab? Let's see. Right? Most people aren't going to keep floating there. This is a computer thing. But when most people get checked with a jab, they're going to try and block. So they're going to just revert to back, not up back. And then you can go for a mix. Stand jab is really good. So you have to play on the floor with MSP. You can't play in the air. This is a ground-based team. Word, right, Potter? That shit was crazy. I didn't even know you could do that, to be honest. Block and still float? That's kind of unsafe. Yeah. So, yeah, I learned this from watching most of the top level MSP players back in the day. We play on the floor. We do not play in the air. Magneto was too strong on the floor, man. He's ridiculous on the floor. He has a 1 frame short. So he wants to be on the floor so he can abuse that, right? He also has a pretty good tri-jump distance. So you can actually deck it from here. right? That doesn't work. But yeah, so, and again, this might not open them up, but you can layer him for opener. You can do stuff like that, right? Play on the floor with MSP. You will see way more success than trying to counter hit people in the air. So yeah, basics with Magneto: movement. You want to have crispy movement. You want to avoid assist. You want to avoid being zoned out. You want to whore out. Abuse this button right here, neutral light kick in the air. So good. And you also want to abuse your assist during your strings. So even if I land this here, I'm already calling Psyblade. I mean, not Psyblade, Typhoon. Because I want that. I want that. I want to take a very long turn and make him crack. So yeah, neutral light kick. Then we also want to not commit to the opener on the first go around, right? We want to layer that. We want to sometimes dash in, try jump block. Dash in, short block, wait. Dash in, call assist. Call Typhoon, get close for no reason. Yeah, Lena, they definitely didn't use it like that. It became prevalent towards the end of Marvel, the end of the golden days of Marvel, right? That should body Sentinel. So yeah, we don't want to commit to the opener on the first go around. We want to layer it, and we don't want to play in the air. Now, one thing to live by, and again, this is my opinion. You do not have to play MSP this way. You want to play MSP in a sloppy manner, go ahead. But this team has too little amount of vitality to be played recklessly. You have to protect your life in this team. So how do you do that? You play clean. You play nice and clean. You take your turn when it's your turn. You play this shit very surgically. You don't just go ham. Going ham will make you hit a ceiling that's not really there. The ceiling with MSP is very, very high. If you just go ham and take the first opportunity that's always given to you instead of doing layers, you're gonna hit an imaginary ceiling. What else we got? You can also if you're playing MSP in particular, right? You can also call Psyblade on your second short as opposed to your first. It still gives you the same confirm. No, sorry. Gives you the same confirm. And what it really does is if they block it, Psyblade protects you at the end of the string, and she actually extends your turn. Right? So if they block this, you get another opener. So yeah, you wanna try and string people up and let your assist do the work for you, right? Because most people, when Magneto gets into proximity of them, they're gonna panic. One of the rules versus Sentinel 2 is if you get into close proximity versus Sentinel, more often than not, the Sentinel player is going to start mashing their anti-air just because they're uncomfortable, right? This area right here versus Sentinel puts him in a very uncomfortable spot. So he's gonna do whatever he can to get out. And usually the first thing they do is hit assist and hold up back, or hit assist and dash back, right? So you can preemptively like try to stop them from doing that. So being patient, hopping over the cap call, and catching them trying to be evasive, right? All right, Andy, I'm not in the mood tonight, bruh. So you might get banned on this stream as well. Just letting you know. Do you dash with the stick or 2 buttons with Magneto? It depends on the situation, right? So when I'm moving around in neutral like this is all buttons. This is buttons. But if I get into proximity like that's with the stick, because I don't want to get stand fierce there, right? I don't want to get stand fierce there. So on my offense with Magneto, I'm using a stick. But in neutral, I'm kind of using the buttons most of the time. This is just my preference. I think Yipes, when he plays Magneto, he uses all stick most of the time, except on the wave dash forward. Right? But like if he's doing stuff like this, he'll use the stick. Whereas me, I'm using the buttons. So he'll do forward, jump, and then hold back immediately. I don't do that. I hit two punches, jump, and then hold back. Also, one of the benefits to moving with the buttons as opposed to the stick is as soon as you input a dash, you can hold back. So this is why this fucking training mode is ass. So if I dash and hold back there, I'm still gonna get a forward dash. Whoops. I'm still gonna get a forward dash, but I'm gonna have a block behind my dash. So let's say if Sentinel spits at me here, or Storm does a roundhouse, I'm gonna block the roundhouse. So yeah, you want now. Yipes does that. Yipes does that with the stick. He does forward, hold back immediately. That's just dumb hard. I don't have the discipline to do that. Has anyone ever confirmed? Are you serious right now? Bro, we play with him. What kind of question is that? That's what he does, man. He's all stick movement. I asked him. The thing about playing with Yipes, you guys might think that we're just sitting there getting our ass whipped, which is true. We are sitting there getting our ass whipped, but after the ass whipping, I sit down and I talk to him about it. I ask him stuff during the match, specifically about his movement, because his movement is just that insane. It's impeccable. Him versus Roundhouse Hand Cam. Yeah, so yeah, Yipes uses the stick a lot, which is why he maybe like moves differently than other people. I don't know. I can't figure it out. There's obviously a clear difference between Yipes and other Magnetos. Oh, we didn't talk about mix-ups. Bro, I was so focused on a neutral. Oh my god. What do you do when you hit somebody? You mix their shit. Okay. B&B right here. Right there. 50-50. Whoops. $50-50, right? Now, same rule applies to this situation, and is universal to Marvel. If you do a low in this situation, fuck. Oh my god, I'm so focused. If you do a low in this situation, it's always gonna jump out. Always. So you have to train your opponent. You have to train them to not hold up there, right? How do you train them to not hold up? Whoops. I'm fucking up right now. How do you train them to not hold up? What the fuck? That trains them, right? Meaty try jump. Wow. Yo, my execution is just terrible. Now, second thing, when you land the hit, is you have a four-way mix-up from the ROM. You can try jump. You can stay on the same side and go low. Obviously, that's not going to work right now because he's holding up. You can try jump to the other side. Go low on the other side. Or you can force, actually it's more than a four-way mix-up, this is cheap. You can force hard knockdown. And get the 5 fierce options. So, when you land a hit, you want to mix their shit. And also, how convenient he gets snapback. Into a dead fucking character. He's cheap. He is cheap. The reward for hitting somebody with Magneto is broken. Yeah. I just realized that, Crystal. I fucked up my time in there. They shouldn't be able to jump out. You're right, because they have their landing frames. I was thinking about that wrong. But yeah, Crystal's right. If you ROM them low enough and you time your short correctly from the ROM, they can't jump out. That was my mistake. So let's show that on stream so I don't give wrong information, right? There you go. So yeah, you can still get the low. So yeah, Magneto is broken when he hits you. Now again, I didn't really want to focus too much on the mix-ups because I feel like everyone has those mix-ups in their bag already. What's missing is the neutral, right? The neutral can be improved. So I am on a mission to clean up Marvel 2 meta. The Marvel 2 meta right now is ugly as fuck. It is sloppy. It's not optimal. Too much raw tagging. Too much people getting decked by assists. Too much holding up. Too much. It's just ugly. It's fucking ugly. Clean this shit up. Yeah, I can do it again. It's just timing. Just timing. Whoops. I think you even get it when you dash. There you go. Always comes back to Storm, bro. Storm's my favorite character. Free. Okay. Why no one tried Magneto Strider Doom? Feel like it has potential. I think some people did mess with it in the beginning, but Sentinel Strider Doom was just more optimal. There was this one guy, his name was Clockwise. He played Iron Man Strider Doom. That was pretty good, because Iron Man Doom was kind of busted. That is true, Potter, yeah. No one really wants to put in time to learn Strider. Neither would I, to be honest. Wow. Old hands, bad hands. Yeah, I'm just gonna be a teacher from now on, but competing. I don't have the hands to compete anymore, guys. It's a wrap for me. That's a good way to break out of the panic push block mentality when fighting Magneto. You just got to be aware of that, bro. If you're panic push blocking, right? So I spoke about this on the competitive 101 fundamental stream, right? Push blocking during someone's offense is good or bad. It can be both. If you're getting blown up because you're push blocking, you just have to recognize that you're getting blown up for your push blocks and stop push blocking, right? It's just something you need to be aware of, something you need to make a mental note of, and make the decision to try and change it. I'm not sure if it's that necessary to get 30 plus hits on ROM to do well. I've seen some sets between Yipes and J360 where Yipes doesn't even go for many ROMs and his resets are just hard to hit. It's hard to block. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. It is not, see, because just because Yipes doesn't do it doesn't mean that he can't. If Yipes wanted to ROM to Dizzy, he can, right? The difference is he knows that Josh is probably gonna get opened up by a mix-up most of the time, right? Offensive players like Josh and myself, our defense is kind of boop, it's kind of doo-doo. So we're probably gonna get opened up on a reset. So that's just the route that he's taking. However, when you see Yipes play someone who's very defensive, he will ROM them and kill them, right? Wow. I really gotta like just quit Marvel. I was gonna say try to get better, but no, I'm just gonna quit. This game is too hard, man. Too much execution involved. Or maybe I'll just play like Street Fighter 5 or something. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got from Magneto. I know it wasn't as detailed as the Storm video, because really, the number one thing that stops people from performing well with Magneto is their own discipline. They don't have discipline with this character. So if you're not disciplined with Magneto, you're not going to make it very far. You have to be very disciplined. Not go for the first opener. Play very defensive. And when you get in, you make it count. I have not done any other characters yet. I just did Storm, and today was Magneto. I will do Sentinel next, dude. That is the next character. Even though my Sentinel is pretty atrocious, I will try and drop whatever knowledge I have on the character. Also, I want to do a Psylocke one. I do want to do a Psylocke one because I feel like Psylocke has a pretty... She's one of the better assist characters, is what I'm trying to say. She can fight. She's not like fucking Cap. Yeah, she could do shit like that, bro. She's dope. Very good buttons. Stand fierce, fireball. Two-way fireball, thigh blade, crouching roundhouse is OD. Stand fierce fireball is OD. Her launcher is OD. Her jump jab is OD. She has some buttons on her, bro. So I think I'm gonna do a Psylocke one as well, mixed in with the top tiers. What up, Chris? Yo, her Pierce is mad good. Manny, all you need versus the Cap fight is this shit right here. This is it. You can't do anything. You can't do shit about that. Captain suck ass. Backdash. Oh, and then he gets close. Whatever, we're just gonna hop over his head because he sucks. And she's really fucking fast, bro. Her ground dash, her ground wave dash goes under Cable's gun. She's kind of OD. Yeah. All right. So I think that's it. Damn, I'm an hour on the dot. So that's it for Magneto, and I think that's all I got to give today. Unless anybody else, anything else they want me to go over, I'm gonna end the stream now. Just wanted to do a quick Magneto one, so I could get some footage and throw it up on YouTube. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll have it up by the morning, bro. I shall have it up by the morning.